I mean, in person.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can someone tell me if you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks. There's nobody here in person. They're afraid of us now.
Hey, Kelly, can you hear me? Kelly, can you hear me?
I don't think she can because I kept saying yes when she was asking about
Yeah.
here, and then she never responded to me.
Amy, can you say something?
Can you hear me now?
Hey.
Yeah, I talk to myself the whole time.
Been awkward. Okay.
You guys probably hear each other, but.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the first one. Alright.
Amy D, Amy Square?
Are you able to just text the link out, because a lot of people are asking? Yeah. And we could do a mass text with it. Hi, Amy, and Amy, and Bobby, and.
Hello.
Alright, we're gonna learn how to do. Basically virtual team meetings, that's most people are cozy at home. Although I did drive from Lexington this morning and it was not bad.
Cause you're the bomb.
Yeah, it was okay.
We got a spaceship. Wow.
Better than the station. Yeah, it was decent. Although our vendor said she was coming from Lexington and canceled, but that's okay, because most people aren't even here. So we'll reschedule her for next time. So what's going on good out there? Besides a snow day.
Taking care of a baby.
What's that?
I said taking care of a baby.
Oh, well, that's fun. Amy Dixon's writing 2 offers today. And Dana
That's
got,
the plan.
Awesome.
an offer, 2 offers this week on her list, and hopefully gonna get another contract. Without it falling through.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that today.
Oh, good.
'Cause, yeah,
Good, good.
contract cancellations are up.
Ooh.
What else is going on good?
It's nice to be able to have a cup of coffee and have my fireplace on and enjoy my Christmas decorations and not run out of the house first thing this morning.
Oh, that was
I made
true.
me happy.
Feel like we're back in 2020.
No, we have to go back.
There's perks to it for sure.
Mm.
I guess I'm gonna have to let everybody in, but we get started. Ella just texted it out again. I know Allie put it on Facebook again, the link. But hopefully we'll have a few more join us. Okay. Any bucket bills?
I wanna always fill Amy's bucket, no matter what she's doing, and as well as if she's not feeling well, she still responds to text messages very, very timely, so. Shout out to Amy J.
Well, thank you, Dana. I was getting ready to do a bucket fill for the office and Kelly. This hit me all of a sudden on Sunday evening and I have been down like I haven't been down in a long time. So thank you to the office for taking care of everything while I'm out sick. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, and Tara too, even though she's not on the call.
Yeah. She's doing her team meeting. Yeah, she got to set some appointments yesterday. Helped out, that's awesome.
People are excited to talk with her, and we're overlapping talking to people, and.
Yeah.
Excited.
You just got, Michelle's coming in at 3:30, so.
Oh, okay.
Yep, she's coming into the office, so I talked to her, I should make a phone call her. I wanna fill Amy Dixon's bucket though, she's my MVP every day.
Hey.
We're like, I need somebody to pick up pies, I'll be there, I need somebody to stop by the office, I'll be there, like, yeah, every single time, so I appreciate it. And we just got a accepted offer for an MCA in Southern Indiana.
Hey.
And I just sent.
Say that louder.
Hiring an MCA.
What?
Gonna work on the schedule for some training in December, and she'll officially start full-time in January, just because December will be a lot of, she'll work some part-time hours and train with some of the other offices, but we'll have a little overlap with Camilla, who's paying right now. And, but we'll have somebody full-time, so excited about that. And I also just sent an offer out for a team leader, so more to come on that, that's not solidified yet, but really, really, really excited about that candidate, as well. So, there is progress in December.
Hey.
All right. Welcome Ahmed to our group in November. Okay, roll this out. In the last team meeting that we had before Thanksgiving, but we are running this incentive. It's not necessarily a contest because everyone can win, but it is a incentive for you guys. So if you refer us, basically a capping level agent, someone doing $2.5 million in the last 12 months. If we can verify their production, we have all those systems. And they join us by December 19th, you will receive $6,000 off your cap. Once they pay. So obviously we need to make money from them before they have to have a cap, but it's a great incentive for you to make money. The other thing we are doing for them is we will give them 6 months of a deferred cap. So we don't generally do we don't modify caps or splits or things like that for people, but what we can do is just delay a little bit of when they pay company dollar. And the thought about that is we didn't really do anything to help them get their deals now. And we also have to put caps in all different months of the year, so we remain profitable throughout the year. So it's kind of a win-win. So they get a little bit of a reprieve in making that move and make sure that their business stays right. And then you guys get that reduction off of your cap. So there's a win-win. We will also get them a family reunion ticket. So the region has given us some guest tickets that are free. So if you have someone, maybe they're not yet ready to join in December, but they still want to come to a family reunion, they are more than welcome to come with us. And that ticket, as long as they are not with Keller Williams when we get the ticket, they can still join between now and family reunion. But as long as they're not here when we request the ticket, we're able to get that guest ticket for them. So build your downline, get your referrals in so that we can help you guys make some more money in 2026.
So just to be clear, that's 6 months of them getting 100% of their commission?
Yeah, so we can't do anything about the royalty because that goes to Keller Williams International. But yes, we'll delay when they start paying their cap by 6 months, and then we give you those 6,000. Questions about that? Okay. In Kentucky, not yet in Indiana, but in Kentucky, we have Amy's shaking her head, not yet, maybe. We have the ability to get them into K-Score, which is our partnership with Kaplan for the pre-licensing. We are charging, it's $99 now. So that's been relaunched in Kentucky. So they do pay $99. However, that's their whole class for the 96 hours. So it's like the cheapest version that they could possibly do. So if you want them, if you have referrals that want to get into classes, let us know. You can talk to them, meet with them, invite them to career night. The next career night for Indiana and Louisville is on December 16th. And then we can get them into the Kaplan if they're in Kentucky. Hopefully we can get that set up for Indiana in the future. They just rolled it out, Amy. They just approved it through Kaplan. We just don't have it yet.
I think it's a law in Indiana. That's why we can't get it.
Yeah, but they just approved it through Kaplan.
Oh, well then, awesome. Then
But
work on
we don't
that,
have it.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's costly. So we'll work on our growth. Just being transparent there. We need to grow some before we can spend some more money on that, because there is a monthly cost to the market side. And we need to be able to have enough people enrolling. So but they like a couple weeks ago it just approved it. But for Kentucky, we are set up. Listing contest. So we have this going on for the next 3 weeks. So remember, it was the first 3 weeks in November. and then the first 3 weeks in December, so we'll be done before Christmas, so who's been attending those classes? Dana says yes. Anybody?
Been intended too.
If you wanna win the contest, it's not that hard, because people are not submitting. I know they're showing up, because I've been in the market centers and they're in the room. They're just not submitting for the contest, so it's not that hard to win a prize every week. All you have to do is submit the Google form. So even if you just attended the class, we are giving entries based on in-person attendance is 4, listing signed is 3, listing closed is 2, and attending the training virtually is 1. So even if you've attended virtually or just came to class and haven't taken a listing yet, that's okay. I know, Dana, you've got listings.
Well, since I started the training early, I didn't think it was fair for me to do that.
Well, okay. You're letting other people win. All right. And we are giving away a grand prize of family reunion ticket. So submit your entries so that you can get in for that. Hey, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. Most people on Zoom today, they're afraid of realtors melt in the snow. to get there. So they're there. All right. Bumpy, you wanna come off mute and talk a little bit about, I just made a slide for it so you could talk about it, but I didn't have time to get your playbook in there, but we can send it out. To talk about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. You won't want to send that playbook out because it is got a whole bunch of extra information that they won't need.
Okay.
So the offices together are going to do a reverse bold, which we have been running for many years now. So we have a playbook on it, and I can share kind of what that looks like if Kelly gives me share screen access. I'll show you that in a minute. But what we do is if we can get enough agents to participate, the last time that we did, it was $100 for each agent that participates. And this is a great way for you guys to have lead gen. So what we did was we created business cards that just said, hey, you know, we're giving away $2,500 for Christmas for a Christmas shopping spree. And then it will have a place where you just write the phone number in and it will tell them the times and the date to call. So this is December 17th. I don't know that we've set a time, but like 10 to 1 or something like that. So it's actually really fun. We all get together, everybody's on the phone taking phone calls during the time. And as they come in, as they call in, you'll have a form that you fill out live on the phone with them, and that gets them registered to win. And so for every agent that participates, you can get your business cards, because it's pretty cheap to print out a bunch of those, so that they know what number to call and the day to call. And depending on how many people participate, that's how much prize money we have to give away. So it could go all the way up to 5,000, it could be 1,000, it could be 500. It just depends on how many agents participate. That's the amount of the prize that we give away. So let me show you really quick what, so this.
Sign up. Sorry. So that we could determine the amount, we have a deadline for them to sign up.
We will need a deadline very soon, probably by like Friday, because if I'm gonna print how much money we're gonna do. Anyway, this is just how it works at the end. We put all the forms, all the names from the forms in here. You spin, it gives you the winner. It's all completely randomized. This is what happens at the very end. So it will tell you, who the winner is. But the form that would look like has the script in it. So you don't have to worry about anything. It actually has the script in it. Everyone will get a copy, a link to this. Obviously, this is the one for our team, so it will be adjusted. But you enter their name, you confirm that they're 18. I'll change these so it says, how did they hear about the giveaway? Was it a call? Was it a text? Was it one of the cards that you handed out? Just so that you know actually what made them call in. Okay, so then you'll get their email, phone number, their mailing address, birthday, if you want to update your CRM with all of those things that you always forget to get and put in your CRM to get good notes in. And then we can talk about whether or not you want to do the extra entries. We did extra entries to be able to get more reviews on Google. So they got an extra entry if they would give you a review. And they get 5 extra entries if they give you a referral. So that's where the real money comes in from this. So that $100 in the past, just like our take on it, is we've gotten the most referrals that we've gotten was 37 referrals from one reverse bold. So you think about that $100 getting you 37 referrals from one contest. It's a really good lead generation thing. So that's why they give you a referral, is because they want those 5 extra entries to be able to win that 2,500. Okay. And then you put in the total number of entries. So they get 1 just for calling in. They get 5 if they give you an extra, if they give you that referral, and then they give you an extra one if they give you a review. So the total number of entries, the biggest that they could earn would be 8. So then you do the math, you put that in, that all goes into the sheet. I've got a formula that parses it and says how many times their name goes into the drawing to give them a better chance to win. And then you say that we will call them and announce it. So we have to always be safe, because there are people, once this starts going out, if you do put it out in social media and stuff, there are spammers and scammers who like to try to get a hold of it and things like that. So you do have to be very careful to tell them that no one will ask for their credit card information or anything like that, that you will be contacting them with the winner, and we'll announce it live on Facebook, wherever we want to do that, so that people can see that it's legitimate and they don't get scammed out of their money. But that's the basics of how it works. Let me stop sharing. Any questions on that?
Like we said, this is open to both sides of the river, and it's something that we were gonna do just with the PC people, but then we decided to open it up because it is so much more fun when everybody is there, and then Buffy has the whole playbook. So it really is gonna be a plug and play for everybody who does donate and chooses to enter. I'd say we need to know by the end of Thursday, so then we can start rolling this out on Friday, because we'll have, Facebook ads for you and everything. So we just need to know exactly who's in. You can either call or text me. I'll put my number, and Buffy will put her number in the chat real quick, so we can, is that the best way, or email?
That's fine.
Probably
Kelly had
email.
said that she'll take the $100 through the office PayPal account, and then that makes it really
Okay.
easy to track. We can see who
Okay.
has participated. You put in your $100, and then that way we can actually pay the winner out of that same PayPal account, and makes it super easy. So just when you submit your $100, then you're in, and then that tells us what our pool of money is to work with, and then I can create those business cards for people to be able to pass out. It's really fun. You just go into like the coffee shops or anywhere you go, grocery stores, and when you hand a cashier a little card that's, a little business card that's like, hey, call in for your chance to win, $2,500 for Christmas or whatever. It's just a lot of fun, and they're really easy to pass out and to get lots of people in your database if you need to build up your client list of people, and you never know who has a referral for you.
Yeah. And we just say it's like an old time call-in radio show. You have to call in to win. We'll ask you a couple questions. We'll ask you if you have a referral, but call in and somebody's going to win. It might as well be you.
So, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna just go ahead and set the deadline for Friday. What we can do today from the office side is get out information to everybody. I would say a good goal is probably 25 participants to get 2,500.
That'd be awesome.
And then Friday, we'll see how many we've got, and have an amount, because we do want to advertise an amount, right?
Yes.
That's the important thing that we have to know. But even if we just get 10 people, who doesn't want $1,000 for a Christmas shopping spree, right? So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would take $1,000 on December 17th to go Christmas shopping with. So
Immediately. Yeah. any day of the week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your help on this and getting together on it and planning it. So,
And we will probably have a sponsor that'll be feeding us pizza or something, just so we can all be in the office and answering phone calls together, because it is a fun thing to do, and it's kind of the last big push of the year for us, and that's how we plan for next year, right?
Yeah, and we usually have a big whiteboard up there, so we keep track of how many reviews and how many referrals and stuff that we get. So then by like the end of the day, we have a big grand total of how many reviews and referrals came in. So it's just kind of fun. It's a really fun way to do lead gen without working hard at it.
Yes. Well, I better to have people calling you than having to call people, right? Okay, I'll be there that day. So good. All right, awesome. Okay, let's see what we get through today. I might save a few things I've got for next week, but we talked about the list. Sorry, this was slightly out of order. But this week's prize is a custom yard sign, including the panel framing rider. So if you're doing the lead generation from the listing class, you need to sign. So get your entries in by Friday so that we can draw for that winner. And then see, this is like in a sequence, right? You need the sign, and then you get the listing management next week. So we gotta go get a listing, right?
Right.
All right. Okay, I took a couple of things Gary sends out like a recap from a mastermind he's doing. I'm trying to see if I can see my screen. Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry, you can't see. Okay,
If you go to the more
I
button,
can hide it, right?
and then, yeah, go to hide floating main controls.
There we go. Okay. Okay. This was in some of Gary's information this week. And it was talking about the fact, who knows the stock market is up right now? In general, year to date. Yes? Anybody making some money? We're just making all of our money in real estate. Okay. Well, it is, except for the fact that 7 companies are accounting for all of that growth. So the green is those 7 companies. And the red is everyone else. So what do you think's driving that? This is out of
AI.
500, by the way. 500 companies, everyone else is pretty much flat. And 7 of them are up 1,200%. Who said AI? I think Buffy said AI. So those companies is Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. I don't even know what Nvidia is. Facebook and Tesla. So this is why the economic indicators show that like we're doing really well, but what do we actually feel like is happening? How do your clients feel right now?
Frustrated.
Frustrated? Like everything's really expensive? Broke? Right? There's like, I mean, you've got a listing, it's pretty slow, right? I mean, today we lowered the price, so we're gonna get 3 showings in one day. We did a 10% price reduction. We got 3 showings the next day, right? That's good. And it's been on the market for a little while, right? Things are sitting in a lower price point too, right? Lower than the average market price point, and it's still sitting. I mean, that's not really super normal in the last 8 years, right? But it's because it feels the way that the rest of the companies in the world are doing, not just the 7 are skewing it that much. Does that make sense? So what Gary's saying is, what, like in 2007, 8, we had the mortgage crisis. Then we had, we haven't really had a bubble or something like that, but what's happening is a technology bubble. So we don't know how that will affect real estate, but that's what we're feeling. We're seeing all the economic indicators are really good because there's a lot of money flowing around out there. But it's affecting people in that K-shaped economy. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Thoughts? How's that showing up in your business?
So we should focus on higher end listings.
Yeah. True. Well, yeah, actually the luxury market's doing pretty well.
Right.
Because they're less affected by interest rates. They've got a lot of equity in their homes. They can go buy something else, right? They can use the cash. Like the average homeowner has like several $100,000 in equity in their home. And our price point's only several $100,000. That's a national statistic, but yeah. So we can focus to the people who have more money, but it's just knowing where we are when we're listing that other property, that there's just not that many buyers right now, right? This was also in there. So this is like his monthly newsletter that he did, and so I pulled out a couple things. So sellers want emotional confidence. So this was the survey. Get all the way. Oh, there we go. That they want, which emotional aspect of the selling process do you wish your listing agent had better prepared you for? Negotiation stress, inspection anxiety. Well, here's the thing, we're not used to doing as many inspections. We're not used to having to negotiate appraisals and inspections, and I mean, we've had them, but 4 years ago, people were waiving those things, right? 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And so when 80% of the real estate agents have gotten into business since COVID, only 20% of us were here before COVID. So many of our agents, when we're working with people on the other side of the transaction, don't know how to negotiate things. They don't know the skills-based market that we're in now, right? So balancing practical and emotional decisions, saying goodbye, that's interesting. People are staying in their homes longer, by the way, about 11 years now, instead of about 7. Depersonalizing space, processing negative feedback. Who turns their feedback on automatically to their client? Does anyone? You let it go automatically to them? Amy says no. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but just prepare them for it, right? So I think what he's just saying is that people are highly anxious, right? People are worried about more things than they were before. The consumer confidence is really low right now. Hopefully we'll get November's economic data out in the next week or two from KWRI, national stuff, but that consumer confidence number was down like in the teens, and where we need to be like a healthy market is like 60%. It was like 16% last month. Because, and that was probably affected a lot by the government shutdown and all that stuff. So we'll probably see that rebound back up. But people do not have a healthy outlook on the market right now. So we need to educate them because the market's still really, really good, right? They can still get a good price for their home.
Well, it's interesting that we're talking about emotional stress because, like I said, all in one day, you get a full price offer and then the same day you get a termination. So to talk about emotions, yeah, we were an emotional roller coaster.
Well, here's the other news, which is exactly what Dana is feeling this week. And Penny, I don't think she's on here, was feeling the same thing last month, right? She had her first contract fall through, right, Amy? That's a stinky feeling.
Those are heartbreakers.
It is. So we can't cash our commission check in our head before we get it. Or don't schedule the moving truck yet. That's what we have to prepare our sellers for. So right now, nationally, 1 in 7 home contracts are falling through. The lower the price point, the more often it happens. Because they got cold feet because of train tracks. Is that what you told me? So they got buyer's remorse and immediately because of a train.
Thought she wasn't gonna be able to sleep. I'm like, do you think the train was gonna run for like 8 hours a night? Like, what?
So here's what's actually happening. So this has been increasing since the data is through 2017. So it's only slightly up from the last couple of years, but that big jump we talked about was 21 to 22, which was when we really saw things get less competitive less competitive, right? And we started putting contingencies back in contracts. So in the 2020 is the lowest, 2020 and 2021 was the lowest that we had, was because they were waiving home inspections, waiving appraisals, waiving financing contingencies, because you had multiple offer situations pretty commonly, right? And then we've had it tick up a little bit. It feels like more than this but we've had that ticking up for the last couple of years. So 1 in 7 are falling out. Buyers are pickier with more homes on the market. Buyers must sell their existing home first. We're seeing a lot more of those. And then rising costs is probably the biggest one that I've seen, or like the worry of your client. But they get that estimate with the mortgage rate and all the taxes and all that stuff, and they can't afford the payment, right? Or the insurance has been a huge thing, especially on older homes. They're asking for repairs or asking for things to insure the property, and so they can't afford it anymore. It's kicking them out of the financing approval. So I know there's things on here, but anybody want to come off mute and talk about how they prepare their client for these things?
It would have been good to have the home warranty lady here. That would have been a good way to help assure your buyers as far as the home repairs.
Yeah.
I think doing a seller net sheet is really important for listing agents and for buyers agents. So not a net sheet for buyers, but a good faith estimate from the mortgage person and a net sheet for the listing agents, so that the buyers and sellers understand what they're actually getting. Because a lot of times they don't think about all of the cost of the extra for the home warranty and the closing costs and the commissions and the blah, 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 blah.
Right. And
I'm
also,
gonna-
I would say a good home inspector that is not one way or the other, is neutral in this process, or can guide them and say, yes, this is an issue, but it's not going to be, crazy, or yeah, your roof still has life, and yet you should expect to replace it in X amount of years, instead of saying, it's bad, right? Consulting them through those things, that they might have to have savings for repairs, or they might have things that are coming up, without scaring them out of buying the house, because you have an inspection, give them a 1,000,000-page report and doesn't explain anything to them. Like, that's really tough. Amy, you wanted to say something about that?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, making, I did it last night, you know, setting the expectation that your home inspection is gonna be 30 to 40 pages long, and it's gonna have everything, and it's a honey-do list, but we're only looking for things that are definitely gonna affect the life of the home or the people in it. And then, I'm gonna tell on myself, I did not do a buyer's consultation with kids that not only did I marry them, I was their officiant, but like I've known her whole life because she was on the swim team with my kids. So I'm like, I don't need to go in and, you know, do all the stuff that I need to do. But when I do a buyer's consultation, I just don't ask what's important about, you know, how many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need and would you like a garage? I get down in the nitty gritty and the weeds and like, okay, is not having a dishwasher important? I didn't ask her that. We found the perfect house and all of a sudden then she looks and she's like, you know, she was writing the offer. I was writing the offer in my head and she's like, there's no dishwasher. And she's like, we're newlyweds and we don't want to get divorced because we both hate to do dishes. So we have to have a dishwasher. So it's getting deep in that buyer consultation about what do you want? Because that we're just wasting time if I'm going to look at houses without dishwashers with them now. I know that. So that first meeting, even if you feel like you've known them your whole life, and even if you've married these people, you really still need to do that first meeting. And just get crystal clear and ask all the weird questions. Ask who's the cook. Ask if they definitely need a fence or they're okay with walking their dog on a leash. I mean, you know, ask the silly, weird questions.
Well, it's funny, like so many people are like, I need an acre or I need this. And then you say, well, what are you gonna use it for? And they go, well, I just want privacy. Okay, so it's not really an acre. So if I put in the MLS, I need one more than 1 acre. I'm limiting my options when I can
Yeah.
have a whole private backyard that has, you know, county land behind it that's never gonna be built on that I get to, you know, enjoy, right? And so we limit based on what they tell us without asking a follow-up question, like, I need 5 bedrooms. Okay, well, what?
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, that people don't know what they need until you start digging down and asking them. People will say, like when we were doing the net sheet, oh, I need to net $50,000. Well, really, they need $25,000, but they want an extra $25,000 just in case. And so when, you know, when we're pricing the house and you need 50, when actually it would sell good at 40,
Yeah.
and you have that conversation, it just makes it so much better. Like, get clarification for buyers and sellers and ask all the questions. And my favorite question, and I said this about 8 times yesterday, is why is that important to you? David's shaking his head. He heard it. He probably heard it in his sleep last night. Why is that important to you?
Hey, Amy, did you reach out to the listing agent to see if there was a possibility of adding a dishwasher to that kitchen for your buyer?
The kitchen was this big, so
Yeah.
there, no.
I'm just saying that we are now in a time
Yeah.
that the sellers are also desperate. You'd be amazed at the types of things that sellers are willing to do now just to get the house sold.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. We just, that was just a tiny kitchen to begin with, which they were okay with. But it just needed to have, if we put a dishwasher in there, even if it was a portable, it just wasn't gonna work. So we're moving on. We're finding more stuff. But yeah, it's ask the questions to the agents and the sellers and the buyers, all of them.
And by the way, timing is rarely what they think it is. Like they might say, I need to move in April. Well, when's your lease up? March 31st. Okay, well, that means we gotta start looking right now, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, yeah, maybe. Like, we don't think about that. When a buyer says they want to walk away, pick up the phone, call them, and have the conversation or meet in person or meet at their house, like, because you actually talking to them voice to voice is so much different than a text message to make them feel better. I think we get away from picking up the phone sometimes and we just negotiate things over text message or we figure that out and that doesn't always work. Okay. Thank you for your guys' input on that. I really appreciate the conversation. All right, the next thing is the NAR's profile of home buyers and sellers came out. So I have the top 10 takeaways here. So the first one is that this is crazy. The amount of first-time home buyers has dropped to 21%. So at the height, that was 50% in 2010. They're just not, they don't have the cash. They think they need to put more down. They think it's too expensive. Rob did a video, I was watching him when we were doing the Pie Day, and he was talking about the short-term pain of having a little bit more of your living expenses going to housing right now, for the long-term payoff of that, of having a mortgage that does not go up with inflation, right? So we can pay rent now, and we can keep paying the rent. What happens to your rent every year? It goes up. We're gonna go from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom, and it goes up again. So if you have a mortgage, even at 6.5%, you can refinance it later, but you can, that's not going to go up over time, right? So the percentage of hopefully your income will actually be less over time. So only 21%. The age of the first time home buyer is 40 years old. Amy's first time home buyers are like 21, but she's educating them really early. But again, in 2010, that was 30. The other thing of that is that the people that were like teenagers in 2007-8 and watched their parents go through hardship have a bad perception of buying a house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I was a kid, I wasn't a kid then. I owned a house at that time. But if I was a kid or a teenager during the bubble, I have a bad perception of investing in real estate. We gotta think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We watched our parents go through hardship. We don't want to go through the same. But if Jason Abrams asked this question, if we could go back to 2004 and you had the money to buy all the property you wanted, would you do it?
Yep.
David says, bring it on. We would buy all the property we can because it's like doubled since then, even though it went down after the bubble. But now it's redounded twice over, right? So it's not, you know, when we buy it, as long as we're going to use it for some time, it's going to be a good investment. It doesn't mean it's not going down next year, but in 10 years we'll be okay. Age of the repeat buyers is also a all-time high. It's 62. That's almost double. 36 of us. Wow. In 1981, it was 36. By 36, you bought your second home, and now you don't buy your first home till 40. The share of people who have children under 18 is now 24%. I don't know what that is. That just people less having less kids, I guess. Well, where their kids move out before they buy a house.
Or the fact that a lot of people move because they need more space. So if you're not having any kids, now you don't need more space. So that's pushing that out as well.
Right.
So my kids are 22 and 25, and a lot of their friends are a little bit older. And they are all saying, why would I have kids? I'm way too young. I want to live my life. I don't want to be burdened like my parents were. I want to have kids when I'm ready on my time.
Yeah. So they're having them later or not at all.
later or not at all, or not as many.
Right. Less than half. 40 years ago, they were born. All right, down payment amount is actually gone up. And that's probably because they're, well, for repeat buyers, it's because they have a lot more equity. But first time home buyers is because it's more expensive to buy the house, and so they need to put more money down to afford the payment. So, but here's the key there, it's only 10% for first time home buyers. So how many people do you come across that think they need 20% to buy a house? That's still a myth that is out there, right? So the average is only 10. So that's an average too. We still have programs, they can put it down. I mean, there's some programs with 0, right? So. I was watching the show over the weekend. This is a little pet peeve of mine. There's a certain mortgage company that's advertising the VA loan as their product. And I'm like, this made me frustrated. Because they're like, oh, you can get this VA loan with us. And I'm like, yeah, you can get it anywhere. Like, but commercial after commercial of them just like claiming it is their program. It's really interesting. Anyway. Okay, sources of down payment. This graph's a little bit different because there's different things on here. But savings has gone down. Gift has gone down. Lots of people have money to give. Financial assets or investments has gone up. And inheritance has gone up a little bit. Which we are going to see more of that because who has all the money right now? Who's the saving generation?
Boomers.
The boomers.
Boomers. So the boomers worked really hard their whole life and put stockpiled money away, right? And then they bought homes when they were 30 and 36. And then they stayed in their houses longer and they built that equity. And so the majority of our generational wealth is sitting with the boomers right now. So, which, I mean, we could talk about that in a lot of different ways because you're going to see people get inheritance that don't know how to deal with their money, right? They don't think real estate's a good investment. So yeah, now's the time to educate them. So it'll be interesting if that first time home buyer actually drops when that generation I mean, they're aging now, but they're going to age very quickly now. Does that make sense? Like they're seeing their hardships and health problems and think they're really getting older. So we're going to see that wealth pass. So we have a community within Keller Williams called the Real Estate Agent Planner Community. That is, and they meet monthly and they do classes and you get certifications through that. And they'll have like meetups at family reunion, but they're teaching you how to help these people through that period of their life plan their real estate and their financial assets through those changes, whether it's downsizing, whether it's moving into assisted living, or whether it's planning their will and their trusts and all those things. Because what's the number one thing people fight about when somebody passes away?
House, probably.
Money, right? So if I have a house and I pass away, what if one kid wants to sell it and one wants to rent it? They're gonna fight about it, right? I need the money now. Let's just go ahead and sell it. I call Dana and have her sell my house and I don't care what the price is. And the other kid's like, no, it's worth this, and we're gonna wait a little while, let's run it out. They're in an argument. So that real estate agent planner community teaches you how to help people through those transitions in life. Because what? We can actually sell that house and buy 2 properties for the kids. Then I just have 3 transactions instead of 1.
Oh, that's hard.
And I'm planning that passing of wealth through like while they're still alive so they don't have to worry about it when they're gone.
Cool. Not selling by 2 now.
All cash home buyers. Who's saying cash buyers lately?
let's go, like, I'm cash, like. I'm attracted to cash. Am I attracted to it? I got cash. I was trying to use it as like, oh, well, cash. So, yeah.
It all spends the same, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is an attractive offer when 1 in 7 are falling through, there's no financing
True,
contingencies, right?
Yeah. True.
And at the end of the day, if we get to a successful settlement, then it is all the same. So repeat buyers 30%, this has jumped quite a bit since COVID. Because, and this is going with the equity amount in their homes, right? So they're able to take a higher priced house in another area and come to an area like ours, where you could take the equity I had in my house in California, or when I was in Virginia, and buy something with cash. So that's becoming more popular. So there will be our areas. Somebody was talking to me today or yesterday about, I think it was Ethan, called me this morning and said, our area is growing more at a faster rate than other areas of the country because we're less expensive.
But the people who live here doesn't think that we're less expensive. Everybody else knows.
But to everybody else, we are. And then, yeah, so this is the real thing is that, or not the real thing, there's a lot of takeaways from this. However, we went from about 6 years before 2010 to 11 years. We've almost doubled the amount of time someone stays in a house. Like, it was 6 years for quite a long time, from 1985 to 2010. It's basically 6 or 7 years. Which means we have to have what? If only half of our database is selling, or only half the amount of people in our database are selling this year than in 2010, we have to have a larger database to get the same return. So it dipped in 2020 because people were making changes based on working remotely and all the things, and yet it's spiked up since then. So this is awesome for us, which says that between a builder or a builder's agent and a real estate agent or broker, 92% of consumers are using a buyer's agent to buy their home. So that stayed actually gone up since, like in 85 it was higher, but since then it's only gone up. So they are seeing the value of having a consultant and a partner in this transaction. And that is increasing. Which is interesting because, well, some of you weren't even in real estate before the settlement, which was only last year, but everybody started freaking out. But it did what? It actually showed them the value of us and actually caused us to make more money because we're now doing phone consultations, right, Amy? And we're getting them to sign a buyer agreement and we're dictating how much we're going to make instead of it reliant on someone else. So we're actually making more money and doing a better job of consulting people in the process. So that's to be celebrated. And then that's a lot higher when it comes to sellers. So 91%, which is about the same as the buyer's agent and the builder's agent together, 92 or 91. But the amount of for sale by owners is only 5% now. In 1985, that was 20%. In what, 2008, 9, 10, it was about 10%, and now it's 5%. Why is that? Well, if most buyers are using an agent, our job as listing agents actually to sell the house to the agents.
But people are holding more, right?
Well, this is the actual, so yes, people are staying in their house longer, but this is how many people are selling right now, are using an agent. So there are only 5% of people are doing for sale by owner. So in 1985, that was 20%. It's a little harder to sell a house by yourself these days, right? And they also see the value in the real estate agent. So that's good news. And NAR stats tell us that they get about 12% more when using an agent. So people want to save the 6% or however much you're charging, and yet they're getting even lower than that in the sales price because people know that there's like, oh, you're saving that, I'm gonna offer you even lower. They're not staging the property, they're not taking professional photos, they're not getting as many traffic through it because if it's, especially if it's not going on MLS, because 92% of people are looking through their agent through the MLS. So they're missing 92% of those people.
So call those FISBOs.
All of this photos. You could just say, do you know it's a historic low of people doing what you're trying to do?
Yo, I had my window washer last year, beginning of last year, said his wife was gonna sell her house and he thought they could get about 100 out of it. I talked to her, she thought she could get 84 out of it. That was what she was gonna put it on the market for, and just to see if she would get any buyers before she listed with me. I sold it for 175.
Wow.
Do you think I am their best friend now? Yes, I am. Yeah. They pretty much got almost $100,000 more than they were thinking they would. So
Wow.
that's my use an agent. You don't know. I can't guarantee that you're going to get $100,000 more than you should, but or than you thought you would, but I'll sure try.
That
Yeah.
man Google review for that one.
Yeah, have her call in for the reverse 100 and give you a review. All right, I'm gonna save the market stats for next week to have those too. But wanted to remind you guys that the holiday party is Thursday. I have some bad news about me though. I will not be there. I had a difficult choice to make, and I love all you guys. However, my Thursday night pool team is in 7th place right now, and only the top 7 go to Vegas in February. And if I don't show up, we won't have enough players to play. And we'll lose about $7,000 prize money to go to Vegas for the national championship. So I'm sorry. I believe
Pool is higher than we are. The relationship.
I love you guys. And it was a really hard choice. They need me. Now I would be the reason that they all don't get to go to Vegas in February for the national championships and get all that prize money. So I'm sorry.
It's hard being the ringer, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really hard. But
Bring home the gold or whatever you say.
I made my first TikTok yesterday. Because I screenshotted, I ran 2 reps in a row in a tournament. And I put it on TikTok. So my first video. So if you want to see me do that, you can go to my TikTok. So I'm sorry. I love you guys, and I will see you. I'll still be here Thursday during the day, but I don't head to Lexington. All right. I appreciate you guys tuning in even virtually today. And a couple of people here in person, which I also appreciate. And you guys party it up without me. And make sure if I don't win, I'm gonna be sad. But yeah.
Also, agents can still RSVP if they haven't done so already.
Yes. So we have a good group RSVP, but yes, please come out and have a good time and celebrate the year with everybody. So, all right, we are gonna do top 20% mastermind if you guys want to stay on. But I appreciate you guys coming out and enjoy your snow day.
Right here. I was like, I feel 20. I just got confused. That's all. Usually confused. Thank you for weathering the storm out.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Of course. I'm
I'll be right
glad.
back.
Come out. I love
Yeah, let's go grab lunch, because I told you that we were
I'm
having
gonna
a
take a vote.
sponsor.
Do we wanna reschedule this for next week, when we can do it in person?
I was like, oh.
Or do we wanna do it with just?
I like that idea.
because of the snow.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, I told Craig that we were gonna have.
But we could do this
Okay.
next week after the team meeting.
Yes, I think that's the best way to go. We had so many people that didn't come in because of the snow and not sure if they will even think to log in for the Zoom.
You said on the 7th?
On the 4th, I mean.
Oh, okay.
On the 4th.
Go with that? We could still zoom you in next week.
You bartend also?
Mhm. I work for Crushed Ice, with like the ice house.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like part-time. Like I haven't worked in about 3.5.
Alright, we'll do that, Amy.
Maybe a month since the last time I did a video with them.
You know, Sharice Master,
No.
she has a bartending school.
Oh, I think I do know Sharice.
Yeah, I can't think of her.
Yeah, I believe that, yeah. Cause I know this.
Alright, I'm gonna end the call and we're gonna reschedule for next week if you're.